How Japanese minimalism helped us overcome emotional clutter. Have you ever felt like your mind is as messy as your bedroom? Like there's so much emotional baggage weighing you down that you can't even think straight? What if we told you that the secret to mental clarity might be hiding in an ancient Japanese philosophy? Hey everyone, today we're diving into something that completely changed our perspective on life. We're talking about Japanese minimalism and how it became our secret weapon against emotional clutter. Now, before you think this is just another decluttering video, stick around, because we're going way deeper than just organizing your closet. We're talking about organizing your heart and mind. You know that feeling when you walk into a perfectly clean, simple room and suddenly feel like you can breathe again? That's exactly what Japanese minimalism did for our emotional world. And trust us, by the end of this video, you'll understand why millions of people around the globe are embracing this way of life. We're not just talking about getting rid of stuff, we're talking about getting rid of the mental weight that's been holding us back for years. What is Japanese minimalism? So let's start with the basics. Japanese minimalism isn't just about having empty rooms or owning 3 things. It's actually a deep philosophy that comes from centuries of Japanese culture and thinking. The concept is rooted in Zen Buddhism and something called ma, which basically means appreciating empty space and silence. Think about traditional Japanese homes. They're not empty because people can't afford furniture. They're designed that way on purpose. Every single item in the space has meaning and serves a real purpose. There's this beautiful idea that by removing the unnecessary, we can actually see and appreciate what truly matters. It's like cleaning a dirty window. Suddenly, everything becomes crystal clear. The Japanese have this amazing way of finding beauty and simplicity. They believe that when we surround ourselves with less physical stuff, our minds naturally become less cluttered too. And here's the thing that really got our attention. This isn't just some trendy lifestyle choice. Studies from the University of California show that people living in cluttered spaces have higher levels of cortisol, which is basically your stress hormone. When we reduce physical clutter, we're literally reducing our stress levels. The connection between physical and emotional clutter. Now, here's where things get really interesting. We discovered that our physical spaces and our emotional states are way more connected than we ever realized. It's like they're dancing together. When one gets messy, the other follows right behind. Think about it this way. When we hold on to broken relationships, old grudges, or past mistakes, it's just like keeping a closet full of clothes that don't fit anymore. We know they're not serving us, but letting go feels impossible. That old argument with our friend from 5 years ago, it's taking up mental space just like that box of random cables we'll probably never use. Research from Harvard Medical School found that people who described their homes as organized and peaceful had lower cortisol levels throughout the day. But the really cool part is that when these same people started decluttering their emotional baggage, forgiving old hurts, letting go of perfectionism, releasing control over things they couldn't change, their physical spaces naturally became more organized too. We started noticing this in our own life. As we began practicing Japanese minimalism in our living space, something magical happened. We found ourselves having honest conversations about feelings we'd been avoiding. We started setting boundaries with toxic relationships. It was like cleaning our physical space gave us permission to clean our emotional space too. Our journey with emotional decluttering. Let us tell you about our personal experience with this whole journey. About 2 years ago, we were drowning in what we now call emotional clutter. We were holding on to guilt from mistakes we made years ago, carrying anger about situations we couldn't change, and constantly worrying about things that might never happen. Our living space reflected this perfectly. We had stuff everywhere. Not necessarily trash, but just things that didn't really matter to us anymore. Old books we'd never read again, clothes that made us feel bad about ourselves, gifts from people we didn't really connect with anymore. Every corner of our home was filled, and honestly, every corner of our mind felt the same way. That's when we stumbled across the concept of Japanese minimalism. At first, we thought it was just about furniture and decor, but as we started reading more about the philosophy behind it, we realized this was about so much more than interior design. The Japanese approach to minimalism teaches that everything in your life should spark joy or serve a clear purpose. If it doesn't, it's just taking up valuable space. We decided to try an experiment. For every physical item we removed from our space, we would also try to release one emotional burden. Got rid of that uncomfortable chair. We also forgave ourselves for that embarrassing moment from college. Donated those books we felt guilty about not reading. We stopped feeling bad about not being the type of person who reads classic literature. The transformation was incredible. As our physical space became more peaceful, our minds followed. We started sleeping better, feeling less anxious, and actually enjoying quiet moments instead of feeling like we needed constant distraction. According to a study from UCLA, the average American home contains over 300,000 items, and researchers found that families living in these cluttered environments showed higher stress levels and more family conflict. Practical steps we learned. The beautiful thing about Japanese minimalism is that it gives you a really gentle, practical way to start dealing with emotional clutter. We learned some amazing techniques that we want to share with you. First, there's this concept called one thing at a time. Instead of trying to revolutionize your entire emotional life overnight, you focus on just one feeling, one relationship, or one mental habit. Just like you wouldn't try to organize your entire house in one day, emotional decluttering works best when you take it slow and steady. We started with what the Japanese call mono no aware, which basically means accepting that everything in life is temporary. This helped us stop clinging so tightly to past hurts and future worries. When we truly understood that both good and bad feelings would eventually pass, it became so much easier to let go of the negative emotions we'd been carrying around. The Japanese also have this practice of gratitude that goes way deeper than just saying thank you. They have a concept called kansha, which means appreciating not just the good things, but understanding how all experiences, even difficult ones, have shaped us. This helped us transform our relationship with painful memories. Instead of seeing them as emotional clutter to get rid of, we learned to see them as experiences that taught us valuable lessons. The transformation and results. The changes in our life were honestly pretty amazing, and they didn't take as long as we expected. Within about 3 months of practicing Japanese minimalism principles, both our physical space and our emotional well-being had transformed dramatically. Our living space became this peaceful sanctuary where we actually wanted to spend time. But more importantly, our minds became clearer and calmer. We stopped feeling overwhelmed by daily decisions because we learned to focus on what truly mattered. That constant mental chatter that used to keep us up at night, it gradually quieted down. We also noticed huge improvements in our relationships. When you're not carrying around emotional baggage from past hurts, you show up differently in conversations. We became better listeners, more present, and way less reactive. We stopped taking things personally all the time because we learned to create that peaceful mental space that Japanese minimalism teaches. One of the most surprising changes was in our decision-making. Before, we used to agonize over every choice, from what to wear to major life decisions. But when you practice minimalism, both physical and emotional, you develop this clarity about what actually matters to you. Decisions become easier because you're not trying to please everyone or avoid every possible discomfort. Research from the Mayo Clinic shows that people who practice mindful decluttering report significant improvements in mood, anxiety levels, and overall life satisfaction. We definitely experienced this firsthand. We felt lighter, more focused, and genuinely happier on a day-to-day basis. So here's what we want you to take away from our experience. Japanese minimalism isn't about living in an empty room with nothing but a meditation cushion. It's about creating space, both physical and emotional, for the things that truly matter in your life. When we remove the clutter, we make room for joy, peace, and authentic connections. We stop wasting energy on things that don't serve us, and we start investing that energy in relationships, experiences, and personal growth that actually make us happy. The journey isn't always easy, and it definitely doesn't happen overnight. But every small step towards simplicity, every emotional burden we choose to release, every unnecessary item we let go of, it all adds up to a more peaceful, intentional way of living. If you're feeling overwhelmed by life's complexity, maybe it's time to try the Japanese approach.
Start small, be patient with yourself, and remember that the goal isn't perfection. It's creating space for what matters most. Trust us, your future self will thank you for taking that first step towards emotional and physical clarity. What aspect of Japanese minimalism resonates most with you? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe if you want more content about living a more intentional, peaceful life.